what they don't teach you about building wealth in schools.
You have to understand one thing. A lot of people in school go there to be programmed as a slave.
Biggest mistake new investors make
Is to listen to dumbasses. If you go after people that you love or you like, you will never accomplish what you want. You have to follow the people that you actually respect and want to be like.
What is success to you?
You have to understand, as a man, it's player versus player. The world is very hard on us. We can't be an average player, okay?
Welcome back, guys. We have Hassan back in the studio. Today, the podcast is going to be in New York style, no sugarcoating, no filters, just straight up business. Money, real estate, hustle, that's it. Thank you so much for coming, Hassan.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's going to be in the podcast, bro.
Done.
You're live over there, right?
Yes.
Hassan, as we already know, that you started your journey 3 years back when you were working in a food cart. So you have sold more than 300 houses within 3 years. If you have to start from the scratch today, without money, without connections, how you are going to do it?
I would say the number one thing would be is to find business in real estate. A lot of people, what they do is they try to jump into investing all of a sudden, right? What you have to do is you have to understand what this game is. For John bhai, aapki mehrbani chahiye hogi.
It's in the podcast. We're not going to cut anything.
Why
bro.
not do everything wrong? Yes. So basically, I would suggest the number one thing, Nakash bhai, is that anybody that wants to start in real estate, they have to start off by understanding what their local market is. And what I'm saying right now is you could be in Europe, you could be in Pakistan, you could be in any part of the world. Once you start understanding what your local market is and what the demand is, you're going to win automatically. Real estate works in cycles, and where real estate works on demand. If you can create that demand, whether it's you flipping your houses, fixing them up, flipping them, you're gonna achieve a lot of things.
Let's go through the process. Like I told you, you have nothing. You don't have any connections. You have to start real estate from tomorrow. What's going to be your first step?
My first step would be is that I would study the local market.
Okay.
I would-
How's that?
That is gonna happen is to see what's selling and how fast things are selling. Let's say you're somewhere in Las Vegas, right? Let's say what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick one area.
Okay.
And you're going to look at every single house that's sold in the past 12 months. There's going to be
Okay.
a lot of houses.
Okay.
Try to look at houses that sold for above asking price. What does that mean? That means there was a bidding war.
That is hot.
It's hot. It was a bidding war. A lot of people were interested in the property. And then exactly what they did to the house, you buy a really broken down house and you put exactly those features into the house, you're going to catch the wave.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So how about like if I don't know how to study the market, the trends, I need to know the platforms because I don't know anything about real estate. Do you have any platforms for that? Like how you are going to see that demand and supply thing?
Right. So go on Zillow. Zillow is your number one friend. You'll be able
Okay.
to see all the houses that posted. You don't have to pay anything for Zillow.
It's
right?
free.
It's
Perfect.
free, right? Number two, make a real estate agent who's your friend. Find a friend in the real estate business and just use them to get access to the local MLS. Could be in any parts of America. And look at what's sold on the MLS because the MLS will give you breakdowns of every single feature that was inside the house. And once you start studying it, you'll be able to implement it on your own.
And where do you find these friends other than Tinder?
You find them on Hinge.
Do we have any platform for this in which I can find my professional
Real estate agents.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. On Zillow, you'll see most houses that are selling
Okay.
are by real estate agents. And if you're able to see who's selling the most properties, you could just reach out.
Okay. And let's start from the scratch again. Like if someone wants to invest in real estate, like everyone wants to do it, like especially I know a lot of students who just graduated, they have their savings, they want to start. What's the minimum number they can get into the market?
You can start as little as $10,000. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, right? You have to, it's not about investing the money into real estate. All these big companies, Blackstone, BlackRock, Vanguard, what they do is they don't invest into a market. They invest into players of that market. So let's say you want to find out real estate, right? what Blackstone does is they have an entire analytical team. They'll study a particular business and they'll study the person who's doing the most volume in that business, and they'll just go based on what their trajectory is. And they'll reach out to them. Listen, we think what you're doing is amazing. How about we give you the funding and we see where you're going with this? We're ready to invest in you. So it's just about that.
But Hassan, is it fair to discuss Vanguard, Blackstone, in the same time when we are discussing a guy who has $20,000? Is it fair?
No, it's definitely not fair. I see where you're coming from, but what I'm trying to say is have that person that has $20,000 study the players in the market. Zillow gives you the access. I'll give you an example. I wanted to study who the number one commercial real estate player was in Nassau County. What I did was I went on Crexy and I saw every single commercial building that sold within the 12 months at a very high price. The
Okay.
average price is about $300 per square feet. Guys that were selling at 400 and more, I needed to study them. So what I started doing was I started pulling out a list. There was 4 players that I came across. I took out their mailing address and I went to their houses. You'll be surprised. They all live in Long Island and nobody knows about them, right? I went to their houses and I said, what can I do to be like you? What is it that you know that I don't know? You just have to be in their faces. And they gave me game. They told me exactly what it takes in this market to find deals, what the shortcuts are. Real estate is a relationship game, man. It's not a game where you're just gonna get up and get it. You have to go to the person that knows what they're doing. You have to go to the person who is the player at the end of the day, and just kind of copy paste their niche, whatever their niche is, until you discover your own niche. A lot of people give up in real estate in the beginning.
But Hassan, these days, because we have a lot of people who are selling courses, on multiple platforms, people actually don't know because we have a lot of information, access to a lot of information. So people actually don't know which guy to trust. Because if you see Instagram, you'll be seeing a lot of real estate guys. They'll be showing like they'll be pretending they own half of the Manhattan because they have a single listing in Bronx.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like how to differentiate that?
Okay. To me, time is everything. Time is money, right? So the way I did it, because you'll see a lot of shiny objects, but you just won't know what's actually really shining, right? Is to go into the local community. The real estate community is very small. If you're talking about real estate, it's very small. And once you get your foot into the door, there's only like 10 to 12 major players in all of Long Island.
Okay.
And you'll find them eventually. You have to go into the community. Once you're in the community, I'll give you a story. I wanted to buy a building in the Bronx, right? And I needed funding from the bank, right? I was willing to put 20% down. I went to this hard money lender. He made about 10 calls. Do you know Hassan? Do you know Hassan? Do you know? 9 of them were like, yes, we do know him. We've seen him do this flip. We've seen him do this. What I'm trying to say is it's a very small market, right? If you're able to tap in with one person, you'll get to know all those 12 players automatically. It's a relationship business, but you have to go in the community to answer to your
Yeah,
question.
I guess the most important part, which I guess is just to go out in the market, like because most of the people they spend a lot of time in thinking and they lack execution thing, because they are scared, they have money, they don't want to put all the savings over there. So I guess it's a good thing to start from like wherever. So last time we discussed the prospecting thing, which I loved about you. You told every process of prospecting, like how to find clients and sell or buy things. Can you tell us about that?
Okay, so to a lot of real estate agents that are beginning in their beginning stages, it's not about how many houses you close. It's
Okay.
about how many people you can get your face out there.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the number one thing was branding. I wasn't branding on social media. I was branding in the local community. My thing was I was prospecting if you go in one neighborhood and you take out every single expired withdrawn with the past 2 years, and you go to those doors and you just meet those people, you'll be surprised if there's 30 houses, you'll be able to get 15 listings. It's a numbers game. You just have to be out there. You have to meet these people. For example, I don't want to give you an address, but I'll give you there was
Why
this
not?
because
Just kidding. Just kidding.
there was this one house in Valley Stream, right on Bowden Street. The guy tried selling his house 3 times. I went on MLS public record. I saw it was listed 3 times and it was not able to sell, and it expired again for the fourth time. I was like, I gotta go meet this man. I gotta see what it is. I go to this person. I start talking to him. I'm like, hey, my name is Hassan Shah. I sold your neighbor's house. There's a lot of listings that I'm doing out here. I just wanted to check in with you and see what happened with your house. He's like, oh my God, Hassan, every realtor that I meet is lazy. They don't pick up the phone. They don't do this. They don't do that. I'm like, okay, so now I know exactly what his problem is. I go there the next time with a better speech. You know what I'm saying? So first time you hear them, the second time you prepare something, the third time you prepare again, and the more you do this, you become a player to a point where you just look at the person, you know exactly what to say because it's on your subconscious. You've dealt with like 1,000 of those people. That's what it is. It's a numbers game. The more you go to these people, the more you talk to them, the more friends you make, you'll get infinite amount of business.
So as we know that you have been already to a lot of people, like you had good experiences, you had bad experiences, you have sold more than 300 houses, maybe you went to 3,000 houses, just to get those 300 houses. Let's hear a pitch from you. Like you have to convince someone, a buyer or seller, to purchase something, or you want to sell something. You have 60 seconds. Convince me, or just sell something, or purchase something at a lower price.
I'll be honest with you, Nakash, but a lot of home sellers, because that's what I was attacking, a lot of home sellers, they sell very emotionally. You have to understand their story. Some of them might be in a divorce situation. Some of them might be in a situation where their parents have died and they have to sell house. Everybody's different.
Okay, give me a pitch. I just got divorced.
Okay, you got divorced. Hi, my name is Hassan Shah. I'm highly intelligent, always and super aggressive. I just sold your neighbor's house on 361 Bowden Street. I have a lot of buyers that are looking actively in this area, and I understand what your situation is that you just got divorced. You have to understand what happens in this case is a lot of judges, they like to give unfair decisions. Me being a realtor that sells about 100 houses a year, I'm going to make sure that there's nobody that's left uneven. Your husband and you deserve equivalent 50-50 rights. Doesn't matter who put the money in. I'm not just your fiduciary, I'm also his fiduciary. But I can tell you one thing, I have a lot of credibility and a lot of reputation on my shoulder in order for me to credibly help anybody more than the other. So I would definitely love to have 60 seconds with you, sit down with you, and talk about how to sell your home.
Man, did you prepare it?
Me?
I thought so.
No, it's just, yeah, in the
But
flow.
how about getting me a new wife and then selling me a property?
Where can I get you a new wife?
I don't know. That was a good sales pitch, no? I would do that. So let's get into do's and don'ts. Like what are the, because people do not talk about don'ts a lot. What we have to do in the market, what we have to avoid in the market. What are your best do's and don'ts?
Here's what I love about real estate, man. You can be in any market and dominate the market. It could be a bad cycle, it could be a good cycle. You just have to study. You have to see every single freaking property that's selling, every single thing that expired, every single thing that was withdrawn, and you have to go meet the homeowners. Once you study the market, you'll see every single cancer property. Once you study the market, you'll have a better understanding. Because when you go and meet these homeowners, so you had your property up for only 2 months. I'm super curious to know, being the number one real estate agent in your neighborhood, why did you take it off? This is a very hot market. There's a property a couple of blocks away from you that just sold. Now you see what I just did there? I studied the market. I know that there's a property that sold. Why didn't yours sell? Yours is a ranch. That property was a ranch too. Ranches are on fire. There's been 7 more ranches that came up last month, and 6 of them are under contract. There's one that's on the market right now, but that's only because it's overpriced. You really have to study the market. You really have to know what's going on in order for you to do a better pitch. Because most of these people that are selling their homes are somewhat studying the market. They're looking at Zillow, they're going on other platforms, they're talking to realtors, they're doing their little due diligence. And if you can just only prove to them that you're very knowledgeable about the market, you don't have to be a good salesperson. You need confidence, and you just have to actually study the market and know what's a good price point to launch their property at. 95% of your job is done. They're gonna give you the listing. You have to study the market. What I used to do in the beginning is I used to write notes. There was this one property in Elmont that I was really studying. It was a ranch, beautiful house, Nakash, beautiful house for 800,000 that expired. Properties like those sell within like 2 weeks. I was so surprised when it was on the market for 2 months. I sat down, I looked at every single ranch that sold within 0.5 mile radius, and I did my own due diligence. Like, this ranch went on a contract in 3 weeks, this went on a contract in 1 month, this one sold fast. Why didn't this one sell? So when I pulled out the list of like these 8, 9 ranches that sold quick, I went to the owner and I showed it to him. I'm like, these properties sold really fast. Why didn't yours sell? That was it. That impressed him. He's like, you really know what you're doing. That's what it takes. Sometimes you'll have a lot of people that are easy to deal with. You can go to them, talk to them, and they'll just give you a listing based off of, the fact that you're there before anybody else. But most homeowners that are tricky, they're doing office jobs, they're always on the computer, they're studying their own market in their own way, would want to see you have some type of due diligence about their house. For example, there was a house in Franklin Square that I sold. It was a 3 bedroom house that expired, right? And then there was another one. This one expired for 750. The other one sold for 800. It was a 2 bedroom.
And what do you mean by expired with you?
Expired means like they were not able to sell.
I thought the owner expired.
No.
Okay.
So when I study them, I'm like, there's a 2 bedroom that sold 2 blocks away from you, like literally that sold within a week ago. I don't understand why you're expired. He's like, oh, because my realtor was this, my realtor was that, my realtor was this. Most of the times, it's the realtor not being aggressive. I'll be honest with you, Nakash, but if there's any realtor that tells you he can, everybody does the same thing. What's the difference between a good realtor and a bad realtor? A good realtor knows how to put the right price on the market and sell. He's gonna be able to convince you that this is the right price and sell. I've probably had 3 expired in my 3 years. Everything else has always sold. And the only reason that happens is because I always put the right price. I always launch at the right price. The owners will be emotional sometimes. They'll be like, no, Hassan, we want to put a higher price. We want to do this. We want to do that. I'm like, look, but here's like 7 houses that look like your house that sold in 6 months, close to your neighborhood, close to your house, 4 or 5 blocks away from you. How are you dreaming? You have the same tiles, you have the same bedrooms, you have the same square footage. Your house was built probably the same time. What
But
makes your house special? If you show them actual factual evidence, man, you know what I'm saying? You'll get their business, you
that's
know?
the best deal. Yeah, I get it. So what I understood from your conversation is like I completely understand the dues because for every field, I guess you have to study the field. Because most of the people they get into a profession just to make money. But people like you who understands the business they are involved in, they try to read everything. So what I understood was market analysis is very important. You need to do a lot of research, and you need to know the right people. So these are the I guess do's for this business. So how about the don'ts? What I have to avoid in
I
this
would
industry?
suggest don't sit in the office and expect the business to come to you. A lot of people they make this mistake in the beginning. They expect their broker to give them business. They expect a lot of other people, clients, referrals, this and that. It's good. There's nothing wrong with business that's being thrown into your lap, but don't depend on it. You really have to go out there and get it. And it's very easy, Nakash. It's not hard. I don't know why real estate agents treat it like it's very difficult. The money is on the streets. The money is freaking on the streets. Whether it's fix and flip, whether it's regular business, whether it's commercial, meeting investors, it's on the streets. You just have to go and collect these coins until it's a monopoly.
Asan, you just discussed fix and flip. As you taught me everything about it, I am very interested. I would like you to just explain the process of fix and flip because I met a lot of people here. I won't name them, and they were like, "This industry, it's very hard to get into it. It's very hard to make money. Within 1 year, you can sell one house, two house. So people were like that. But when I met you, you taught me the whole process, and I was shocked that it was so easy. But yeah, we didn't see that way this industry. Uh, let us get through like this process of fix and flip. What is it? How do you do it? And yeah, and also tell me what's the minimum profit you look into this
Okay.
because you told me a number.
Yes. So basically, again, Nakash, by when you're gonna put all of your money up front, you're gonna have investors depend on you. The goal is to get as much money as humanly possible out of every property. And this is what my mentor Manny Koshman told me. You make your money on the buy. You don't make your money on the sale. Don't be emotional because I've seen flippers put their properties up on the market for 900,000 when it's actually worth 800,000. It's because they buy at a very high price, and when they put the construction in and they have hard money holding costs, they get to an emotional place where they pray to God that maybe our properties could sell for a higher price. Don't ever do that. Especially if you want to be at a trajectory of doing 50, 60 flips a year or 100 or 200, don't buy at a bad price. Okay? Instead, focus on the elements. What can I do to buy at a cheaper price? And you'll be surprised how many properties there are out there that if you really negotiate, you work your ass off, you study the market, you know what's a good wholesale price in that neighborhood, you're going to get those deals. Because any flipper, any savage flipper will try to wholesale you a higher deal, but you'll be like, brother, I know what capes are going for in Elmont. Once a cape is renovated, it doesn't go for more than 750 to 800. So
Azami,
yeah.
let's simplify the process because I want people to understand because I know.
Okay, like okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, that way.
All right.
You remember we were sitting in that room. You told me everything. We were on a computer, I guess, and we don't have it as of
Okay,
yet. But yeah,
okay,
that process
okay.
because that was pretty easy for me to understand. What is it like? Because I was very.
So you do you want to know like how much it cost? Like
So let's just discuss that. I don't know anything about fix and flip, and you have to, tell me what is it and what's the minimum investment to start a fix and flip, and what's the process, like the stages of it.
fix and flip.
Uh huh.
So you buy a property at a certain significant discount.
Mm-hmm. How
You
do you get that discount?
by either going to the auction, finding distressed deals.
What is an auction?
An auction is where, let's say, somebody forecloses on the house
Mm-hmm.
and the bank has no choice
Mm-hmm.
but to sell the property at an auction because they want to get rid of it and they would just want to get rid of their note.
Okay, I get it.
A lot of people come in, they bid, and they buy the property. You pick up that property, you fix it up, you make it beautiful, make it nice. You make it into a way that is attractive to the local market. And then you put it on the market and then you sell it for a profit. For example, you buy a property at 100,000, you put in 10,000 and you sell it for 200,000.
Okay,
What is the profit? 90,000. That's like the most lamest example I could give, right?
okay,
90,000 is your profit. So same way, if you talk about big numbers, let's say we talk about my favorite neighborhood, Valley Stream. The average, let's say a ranch I'm buying out there that's at the auction, I'm not paying more than 450,000 in today's market in 2025, 2025. I'm gonna buy something for 450. I'm gonna put in like $150,000 because with all these tariffs and everything, construction costs have gone up. So now I need to come down on my buying price
okay,
because I know I'm gonna spend a lot on construction.
okay.
So let's say 150,000 into a $450,000 house. How much am I all in for Nakash Bhai? What's 150 plus 450?
I get it. 600.
600,000. So now if I'm not able to sell it at least 700,000, am I making any profit?
Nope.
No, right? So I know the local ranches in Valley Stream go for 750. So 450 is a good price. And it depends on how much work it needs.
And how much what's the duration of it? Well, a time period. If the whole process, when you buy it and when you sell it after.
So probably in my opinion, construction, if it's a gut job, will take me about a month and a half. If it's a quick flip, will take me like even a week or 2 weeks. But the entire thing takes about like 4 months at least.
Okay. And yeah, if a person who has $50,000 and he has a dream of buying something in New York City,
Mhm.
what's your honest advice? Real estate or therapy? Yeah,
$50,000?
yeah, let's be honest. He wants to do fix and flip.
Okay, I would suggest there's nothing wrong with trying to go and explore something like a fix and flip on your own, but
Okay.
I could promise you're gonna have a lot of headaches in the beginning.
Okay.
So might as well just go to somebody who's like the local area expert because you're gonna find a lot of guys that are like me that are not obsessed with money, that are obsessed with the game of real estate, just obsessed. And if you could find somebody like me in your local neighborhood, come to me. You put half of the money up, I put half of the money up. We buy a property together, and based off of my experience and my knowledge, I'll show you the ropes, or that person will show you the ropes. And once they show you the ropes, you'll kind of be familiar with the process.
And let's simplify for the viewers because if we split like we are I have $50,000, you have $50,000, so we it's $100,000. The property is for $500,000, so the rest of the gap for that $400,000 and construction charges, how do you going to fill that gap just for the viewers?
Right. So any local market expert that you're going to do a joint venture with, as such, will have amazing relationships with the bank.
Okay.
They're going to be at a point where, but again, that's again, it all depends on who you're investing with.
Okay.
There's newbies, which I won't suggest because $50,000 Nakashba is $50,000,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning for somebody who's
Yeah.
starting off. So you need to make sure that it's with somebody who's like really, really knowledgeable and knows exactly what they're doing. You know, it's almost like you're going into, you know, this rabbit hole, because through real estate you can explore a lot of other things. You'll learn about financing, you'll learn about title, you'll learn about taxes, you'll learn about a lot of stuff. So it has to be with somebody who's a serial buyer, a
Okay.
serial seller, somebody who has an amazing relationship with the banks, and that person will guide you hand by hand exactly what to do. So I would say, again, this is not one of those things that can really literally word by word be explained. It has to be experienced.
But Hassan bhai, that means bank comes into the play, right?
Yeah.
To fill that gap, and for that, that guy needs to have a good credit score.
No, not necessarily, because the player that you're playing with,
Okay, so he's going to.
he's going to obtain the financing. Yes,
Okay, so it's very easy for them.
correct.
And yeah, people can message you for that. Are you going to
Absolutely.
reply? Because a lot of people they message me because you were not replying to them. In the last podcast, a lot of people were like, "We want to learn from Hassan. We have to work with him," but you didn't reply. That's not fair, man. Come on.
It's just, the thing is, I'm a very bad person on the phone. I would suggest this to reach out to you because you're on my number one contact list. So they reach out to you, and then through you we'll filter them, and then we'll bring them in.
Hassan bhai, I have a beautiful question for you, bro. How to spot a good real estate deal in 60 seconds?
Good location,
Mm-hmm.
40% below market price,
Mm-hmm.
not too much construction money needed.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my God, that's 15 seconds. Wow.
Ninja.
You're a magician, man. Another question. Do you think owning property is still the American dream, or is that dream sold out?
Depends on where you own the property, I would say.
That's it?
Yes.
Perfect, bro. I have another beautiful question.
Mhm.
What is your philosophy of wealth?
Of wealth,
That's deep.
generational wealth, and having your roots inground into the system to a point that nobody could touch you. Touching the elite is
How
wealth.
to create that generational wealth? I don't have it.
Huge, massive connections, and owning huge, huge, huge parcels of big stockhold companies that are not going to be defeated in the next 30, 40 years.
Beautiful. How important is looking successful when you're trying to win a client?
I'll be honest with you. A true predator, a true animal, a true winner, you could smell a true winner. You'll see him. So it's not really much important. I know guys that drive Camry that are selling the most houses on Long Island.
Is that a good smell or bad smell?
I like it. It's a good smell.
Okay. Okay, condo or duplex?
Duplex,
Okay. Airbnb or rentals?
rentals,
Okay. Flip or hold?
hold,
Cash or leverage?
leverage,
Residential or commercial?
commercial,
City investing or suburbs?
suburbs.
Building a new one or rehab?
Depends on the price you buy it at.
Text or call for deals?
Call for deals.
Hottest location right now for real estate?
Metropolitan cities.
Which one?
Texas, Arizona, New York, Cali, and what else? Chicago.
How about Gujarat?
100%.
Okay.
Above New York.
Biggest lie in real estate. This one is good, man.
Don't use leverage. Don't over leverage yourself.
That's the biggest lie.
Yes.
You have to.
You have to. In order for you to grow a massive portfolio and go into the rooms with big players, you have to own a lot of real estate.
Are you lying?
Yes, man. Sometimes I do.
People have to guess. The most profitable deal in terms of numbers
For me,
so far.
I did a commercial building in Bohemia.
How much did you make?
6.5 million
Dollars or rupees?
rupees, dollars.
No, dollars, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one, man. And biggest loss in numbers?
800,000.
Dollars.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say to the people? Do you want to motivate people? You can say anything you like, anything you want.
In real estate,
In real estate, in life, anything you want. Okay, let's have a real estate line or a quote which can benefit people first, then about your experiences in life general, or anything that hit you in life. Any your mentor told you about this thing, or anywhere you read it or just heard, anything you want to say about real estate.
real estate is 90% a relationship based business. So if you have honest credibility, even though you don't have money, people are gonna put you at a higher standard and they're gonna put you in like big places where you could go. But you need to be really honest. You have to be an honest person.
Now, Sami, any message for the people,
For the youth,
for the youth? Yeah, just to motivate them.
have a purpose. It's okay to live a normal life, but like if you want to be exceptional and you want the respect that a few men have, us as men, we get to create our own legacy and just I guess do the best what you can.
And one more thing before ending this, I just had a question. People are very scared because of the political situation we have right now.
Mhm.
Is it a good time to buy, or it's a good time just to wrap up?
It's always a good time to buy. Always. Down market, up market. There's money on the streets. You have to go and get it.
You're talking about real estate, right?
Correct. And businesses. Everything.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Hassan bhai, once again. And yeah, I would like to tell you guys, this guy has been very kind to us throughout. He has supported the podcast a lot, by all means, honestly. And yeah, we would like to thank you, Hassan bhai, for that. You have supported us a lot, and that means a lot to us. Honestly, because of you, we are doing this. You know that, right? And thank you so much, bro.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you so much.
And
Adam.
thank you so much for devoting your time for this thing. And yeah, we'll keep bothering you with this.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And yeah, please do subscribe. Do press that bell icon button because we don't have a lot of people over there. So we want you to watch all the podcasts. And yeah, write something in the comments you would like to hear from us, anything, or just a critique of Hassan Bhai. You can just cross check him in the comments or do something like that. Thank you so much for watching, guys.